All right, so today we are going to be evaluating functions and function notation. Function notation is really just a fancy word to say a linear equation or slope-intercept, basically. But before we get to that, let's first back up and do some vocabulary. A function can be thought of as a machine that assigns one output. Oh, let's change that. That is not good, y'all. One output put to every input. It's kind of the same thing here. That is not good. So basically what it's saying is you put one number in, one number is on the out that's going in and being processed, and it'll have one that comes out basically for it. So the different parts of a function, like this is a function where it has this f and then parentheses x, and it is read f of x. So this f here is the name of the function. So sometimes you'll see g of x, sometimes you'll see, I don't know, really you can see any letter. F and G seem to be the most common that we use and that are seen for functions. So in this one, we have f. This here, where it has the parentheses x, is sometimes it'll have just parentheses x and you read it f of x, but sometimes it'll have a number in here. So this just tells what number to plug into the function. Let's make that a little larger. So if it's 2, it's just telling you to plug in 2 for x instead. And then down here, we're just going to say is read f of x. If it's a number, if this x was a 2, you would say f of 2. So it's f of whatever is in the parentheses. Then this whole little piece, the 3x plus 4, is the actual function. All right, so all that gibberish probably doesn't mean a whole lot for you, but it's really important. What we're going to do is first zoom in so I can see all of this a little better. So it says here, find and illustrate f of 2 and f of -1 using the function machines below. So that 2 is what's going to go into our function, and then -1 is going to go into this example here. So focusing on 2, we're going to use this function, 3x plus 4. So 3x plus 4. If you notice that up here it has x inside that parentheses, but now it has a 2 on the inside. So the only thing that changed was the actual 2. So same thing here. This is going to change to be 3. Instead of x, we're going to have 2, and then add 4. So 3 times 2, we get 6. 6 plus 4, we get 10. So how we really write it is f of 2 equals 10. So it fits in one line. So when we put 2 in, we said, okay, f of 2, it equals 10. We're going to do the same thing with -1. Our same function, 3x plus 4. Now, though, it's going to become, we change x to be -1. So 3 times -1 plus 4. Well, 3 times -1 is just -3. -3 plus 4 more gives me 1. But remember, we write it in our fancy way. We say f of -1 equals 1. And that is it for that. We do have another slide, though, where we're going to do some examples here. So you'll see 2 equations. So we have f of x, x squared plus 3. G of x is x plus 1. So you have to be very careful. If you see f in front, you have to use the f function. If you see g in front, like the second one, you have to use the g example. All right, but let's start with f of 3. So we're going to use this f function. So f of x is equal to, it's x squared plus 3, but we know that that x is actually changing. Notice that it's f of x here, but now we are putting in 3 for x instead. So we have 3, oops, sorry, I meant 3, and that's squared plus 3 more. And again, if you get stuck and you're like, I don't know this math, or I don't know how to calculate these numbers, or I'm not sure, I want to make sure I got it right, you can always highlight, copy it, come to your calculator, and put it in, but you have to make sure that 2 stays square. Now, how you do that is at the bottom left, you have this keypad. If you click on that, it brings up a lot of different options. Click on the a squared. Oops, be in the right spot where it's supposed to be squared. And it'll make that an exponent. So basically what we did, just to recap, so we have 3 squared plus 3. So we have 3, we need that squared, plus 3 more. So that is 12. So for this case, f of 3 equals 12. So that problem is done. Now we go to g of 3. I'm going to change colors to blue. So g of 3, now we got to use our g function, x plus 1. So that one's easy. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. I didn't mean highlight blue. Right, and blue. So x plus 1. Well, x has now become 3, so 3 plus 1, and we had 4. G of 3 equals 4. Now we come here, f negative 2, so we got to be careful, make sure you're using the f function, x squared plus 3. So x squared, man, I keep changing the wrong thing, y'all. X squared plus 3, and we're changing this time x to be negative 2. So we have negative 2 for our x squared plus 3 more. Well, let's go to our calculator and check. Negative 2 squared plus 3 more, 7. So f of negative 2 equals 7. And then we have g of 0. So our g function was x plus 1. I did it again. You think I would learn on the third try? All right. So 0 plus 1, you get 1. G of 0 equals 1. Now here is where it gets a little tricky. We're combining 2 of them. So we are saying f of 2 plus g of 1. So you're still going to do the same thing we've been doing here. You're just going to add your final numbers, basically. So we have our f equation is x squared plus 3. And then we're adding our g of x, which is x plus 1. So we're still putting in for the f function 2. So this x is going to be the one that's 2 squared and then add 3. Oops. And then we're adding our g of 1 here. So this x changes to be 1 plus 1. Well, let's go plug all that back into our calculator. Notice that this square fell, so I got to delete it and put an exponent. So it's 9. So then we say f of 2 plus g, plus g of 1 is equal to, I forgot already, 9. Oops. Then your example here, g of -1 plus f of 1, you're going to do the same thing. This video is already getting kind of long, so we're going to skip that. Most of your work is going to be just like this. So if we have our example here, f of x equals x squared minus 3x, what is the value of f of 5? So we have x squared minus 3x, so we have two x's in this one. So each of them, though, we're plugging in and making 5. So we have 5 squared minus 3 times 5. So we're going to go put that into our calculator. Same thing, that exponent, this 2, always will fall. It never will stay. You always have to delete it and make it to be that exponent. If you don't, you see how it gave me a different answer entirely? It gives me -5 if I don't change that as an exponent. But if I make it be the exponent, it gives me a value of 10. So it gives you an incorrect answer if you don't change it. So we know that f of 5 equals 10. So our answer choice here was C. And then this last example, -3x plus 1. So -3x plus 1, we change our x to be 3. So -3 times 3 plus 1. -3 times -3 plus 1 is -8. F of 3 equals -8. And we see that here with option B. And that is the gist of everything from today.